from Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 in all the Filipino shows in the Midwest. And I'm Joe Mauricio. Today we have all the top stories from Chicago and the Philippines. We also have our segment host, Veronica, interesting interviews with Melody Rabor Dizon, our Health Matters host, and Joe Mauricio, myself. And I would like to introduce to you Janet Jordy, our new host from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, introducing her Global Inspirations interviews. We also have happening within our own Filipino community here in Chicago. All these are coming up and more from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
They made America home, and they deserve to be counted. They marched for us so we can be counted. They did whatever it took to raise and protect us. For generations, we've built this state and this country, either by working long hours or studying through the night, to make a home for ourselves, for our families, and for our future. As we think about the next decade and everything it will bring, we need to make sure our children have every resource available to them. The census is our chance to do that. It's our chance to shape our future. It affects funding for schools, healthcare, public transportation, and determines our representation in Washington. We can't wait another decade, and we can't be overlooked. But time is running out. Fill out the census and be counted today. It's safe. It's confidential. Go to my2020census.gov to fill out the census today.
The Philippines Pandemic Task Force has given a go signal for those aged 15 to 20 and 61 to 65 years old to leave their homes in places under modified general community quarantine and general community quarantine such as the Metro Manila. Local government units, however, are allowed to make some adjustments depending on their respective COVID-19 situations. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque explains this decision is based on science and hard facts, showing that case fatality rate and severity of sickness are lower among aged 15 to 20 years old. 65 years old has also been a common retirement age in the private sector. As for curfews, LGUs are urged to impose standardized rules. Meanwhile, the task force also relaxed its guidelines for interzonal travels or those trips between areas with different quarantine classifications.
Maski po yung mga non-uppers between GCQ and MGCQ areas at pinapayagan po rin ang travel between MGCQ papunta po dun sa madideklarang mga new normal.
It also loosened the COVID-19 testing requirement for tourists who will visit Boracay Island.
Kung dati po, lahat ng mga turista ng Boracay ay kinakailangan magpa-RT-PCR test 48 hours prior to arrival. Ngayon po, ginawang 72 hours prior to the date of travel.
More Filipinos will also now be allowed to leave the country. Starting October 21st, those who have non-essential travels will be permitted to leave as long as they have a confirmed round-trip ticket, travel and health insurance, a negative antigen test result 24 hours before the date of travel, and a declaration stating that they are fully aware of the risk of travel. But foreign tourists are still not allowed to the country. Also green-lighted the resumption of operations of off-track horse race betting stations in GCQ or in areas with lower classification, as well as operations of licensed cockpits in MGCQ. Malls are also now allowed to conduct promo sale, but it should follow health and safety guidelines. The easing of restriction comes as COVID-19 cases in the Philippines surpassed 351,000. Of that number, more than 50,000 are considered active cases.
Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Time has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica segment of the show. Today, help me welcome my beautiful guest from Virginia.
Thank you.
She's an author of this book entitled One Bad Decision. One Bad Decision. Wow. And it is a novel. It is a fiction, and I think the story revolves around the Washington D.C. area. Is this political or no?
No, I wouldn't say it's political. No.
Okay, all right. Your book is a suspense.
Right.
Romance too? Is there romance?
I wouldn't say there is romance, but there is a love interest. Yes, there is a love interest, but no, I wouldn't say it's romance. It's more of it's a murder mystery.
Okay.
As I mentioned, it's suspenseful. And basically that's what it is, a mystery.
Okay, what drove you to write this novel?
Well, I've always been an avid reader, and as I matured, I developed a passion for writing poetry. I actually started writing poetry when I was in college, and the more I wrote poetry, the more my love for writing grew. So, I had said that eventually one of my goals would be to write a book. And actually, I had attempted several manuscripts, but none of them moved me. So I wasn't able to complete them. But later on in life, a very dear friend of mine was a victim of domestic violence. She was actually killed. And of course, that was very painful for me at the time. And actually, even to this day, it's still very painful. As a result of this tragedy, I was grieving greatly, more so internally. And one day I said to myself, I said, Linda, you have to find a way to release this. You have to find a way to get this out. So I'd always been told that when you write down your thoughts or you write down your feelings, it's a wonderful way to release what you have been internalizing. So I started to write about my friend as I knew her. And somehow it just developed into a story. I guess that's where my love for writing came into play. So it developed into a story. And the more I wrote One Bad Decision and the more I reflected on my high school girlfriend and our years together and her as a person, as an individual, she was just an absolute beautiful person inside and out. The more the manuscript pulled me in, and I was able to continue to write and to complete it.
Terrific. So this is your first book, and have you written any of your poetry in a book?
Not recently. No, I have been just basically focusing on writing, books, writing novels. I did recently enter, which is something totally separate. I just recently entered a poetry contest. And I am waiting to hear back from that, but no, not recently.
You are a multi-talented person.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
now, what else do you want to do in life?
Well, when
Life.
I was younger, I wanted to be a psychologist. And I guess that stems from me always wanting to somehow help others. Um, I am very much into volunteerism. I love working with 501c organizations, nonprofit organizations. Actually, I'm very involved with working with St. Jude, um, you know, raising money for St. Jude through charitable donations, of course. Every year, St. Jude organizes a walk run event in an effort to raise awareness and raise money for St. Jude. Also, gifts for the homeless. I'm very involved in that, and finding ways to you know get contributions and donations through volunteer work. So I would really like to, I think ultimately, along with my writing of course is my first love, but I think ultimately one of the other things I would like to do is to be an event planner for a nonprofit organization.
Goodness, a lot of things that you want to do, huh?
Yeah,
Um,
you know,
I congratulate you for wanting to get involved in a lot of things. Well, are you very active in your own community there?
I try to be when time allow me to, when time allows, I try to be. Not just in my community, but whenever the opportunity presents itself, and I can help in some way, whether it's riding on a train, walking down the street, and I see someone who is in need, I try to make it it's just a part of me, I guess.
Linda, well, let's go back to your book.
Okay.
Where can we purchase your book?
Well, it is available online on Barnes and Noble, as well as on Amazon, and it's available also in ebook. So it's available in paperback, it's available in ebook and hardcover. And again, it's available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
What is it in your book that really that you can convince our viewers to purchase it? What is it that's really make it so exciting for people to read?
I feel that there are several things that make it exciting to read. First of all, I try to open up or start the book in a way that the reader's attention is captured right away. And gleaning from what some of my readers have said in the way of their reviews, they said that one reviewer said it captures your attention from the beginning. And I mentioned, I think to you, that it's a diverse book.
It's the diversity.
Yes.
I think the focus of your book, the theme is about diversity, right?
Well, the theme is actually about making that one bad decision and the repercussions of that. But I am a writer that believes in diversity in characters. I think that makes the book more interesting, because life happens to everyone, no matter what your nationality is, no matter where you come from. Life happens to us, whether you're Black, white, Hispanic, whatever. And I think adding to diversity to it adds an even more realistic flavor to a fictional book. And I think the thing that is going to capture a lot of readers' attention is the fact that it is based on an ever growing problem, that of domestic violence and homelessness. And as you know, because of the pandemic, COVID-19, these two unfortunate situations are on the rise, that of domestic violence and homelessness.
One question about the COVID-19 situation in your book.
Mhm.
Did you get the inspiration to write your book because of what you experienced in COVID-19? Well, pandemic?
Actually, the book was written before COVID-19, surfaced. My inspiration came from, I guess, several things. First of all, from grieving. I was grieving internally over the loss of my friend to domestic violence. Um, I had never seen a homeless person until I moved to the area, to Washington, D.C.
That's so.
I'd never seen a homeless person. And actually, when I saw my first homeless person, I was with my aunt. And I asked her, I remember asking her, I said, Auntie, why is this person sleeping on the street? And she said to me, well, they're homeless. And I just found that totally unacceptable. I couldn't believe it. So I wanted to raise awareness, as far as homelessness is concerned also, because when people are aware of a matter, and I think more importantly, when they are aware of how serious the situation is, they tend to give it more attention.
All right. What you experience in meeting homeless people, plus the fact that what you experience amid the COVID pandemic in your life, you put it all together in your book. And what else? The diversity.
The diversity.
Diverse. I bet you use diverse characters, right?
Exactly. As a matter of fact, the main character is African American. Her best friend, and I actually developed her best friend's character around the type of best friend that I and everyone would like to have, someone who is loyal, someone who is devoted. Um, she's beautiful, she's supportive. So her best friend is Hispanic. And then the homeless person, who is also beautiful in her own right, very supportive, she's white. So there's the diversity, but they come together and they work, well together. They're supportive through, what the main character is facing, that of mainly domestic violence and other challenges.
All right. Very good. How many? Is it a very thick book? How many pages?
It's about 278 pages. So it's a modest sized book. I actually have it here if you want me to.
It comes in all right.
Yes, it comes in. And this is the hardcover version of One Bad Decision. And as I said, it's about 278 pages.
Great. Will there be a sequel to this book?
It's funny that you asked that. Those who have read One Bad Decision, as I shared with you, it's getting 5-star reviews. And those who have read One Bad Decision, particularly those that I'm close to, they are pleading with me for a sequel. So I'm seriously considering it, and I wanted to find out, why they are in want of a sequel so bad. And one of my friends said to me, she said, Linda, your characters, she said, I just fell in love with your characters, and I think one of the greatest assets a writer can have is to be able to develop or portray their characters in a, of course, even if it's fictional, in a realistic manner, and be able to relate to what your characters are experiencing. You know, believe it or not, when I write and I develop my characters, I, in a sense, begin to live my characters, in that I begin to feel their personalities. And that way I'm able to develop their personalities more strongly.
There you go. Okay. So, Linda, congratulations on your
Thank you. Thank
first
you so
book.
much.
And hopefully we can, one of these days, you'll have time to present a sequel to that book. Yeah. And one last word before we sign off.
As COVID-19 continues to rise, you know, people are at a loss for what to do. People are just aren't themselves. So they are reacting in ways that, you know, they probably would have never reacted before. Thus, you have people losing their jobs also. People who are not able to put food on the table, people who are experiencing the unthinkable as a result of these two matters. And one bad decision sheds a lot of light on homelessness. It sheds a lot of light on domestic violence. And if I may add, my character, who is experiencing these challenges, domestic violence, through it all, she's very positive. She's very determined. She's very strong. But more importantly, eventually she's able to get a grip on the situation. And I don't want to give away the plot, but I think readers will really enjoy One Bad Decision. And as I said, it's suspenseful, it's a mystery. My readers are saying that when they start reading it, they have a hard time putting it down. So I don't think anyone will be disappointed. And I am a writer who likes to write unpredictable endings.
Great, terrific. Congratulations on
Thank you.
And good luck to you. And well, hope to see you again.
Okay, I hope so.
A sequel of your book. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
At maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Good day, this is Jeanette Jordy at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, you need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world. To our friends, to our viewers who have not clicked on the subscribe button, that is the red button on the screen, click on that and then click on the bell button and click on all so you will be notified every time we have to upload a new video in our channel. I am so excited to introduce our guest this afternoon. They are couples. They are from Madison, Wisconsin. They will share with us how they survive and how they make an adjustment coming from a developing country, the Philippines, to an America, which is the most powerful country in the whole world. They will also share, because in being in America, you need patience, you need determination to survive, and they will also share with us. The husband is general manager of a hotel, the Stay Bridge Suites, Madison, Pittsburgh, and the wife is the registered nurse, and she's working at University of Wisconsin, Madison. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Mr. and Mrs. Bobby Pagas and Dali Pagas. So where are you from in the Philippines?
So me, I'm from the province of Bukidnon, and our town is Don Carlos. And Dali is from the province of Agusan del Norte and city of Butuan.
Oh, okay. So how long have you been married?
We're married for 20 years and going to 21 years next month.
Oh, 20. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's long. That's long. So how many kids do you have and what are their ages?
So we have 3 kids. So 2 are born in the Philippines and 1 is born in here. And 2 of them, way back in 2004, they're just 3.5 and 2.5 years old at that time.
Okay. Dali, you mentioned that you moved here about what year?
2004.
2004.
Yeah.
So why you guys moved from the Philippines to America?
Since there's a great shortage of nurses here in the United States since 1970s. So as we all know that the Philippines is the #1 exporter of professional nurses in the US.
Okay.
So I am one of the exported nurse and got the privilege to be sponsored by University of Wisconsin Hospital together with the 40 nurses. So 2004, we migrated here with my husband and my 2 kids.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. And I know because I came from the Philippines too. It is hard when you move from a developing country to the most powerful country. So I am just wondering, how did you adjust yourself as far as culturally, like the food? We will ask first about the food and then followed by the language and by the caring. How about food?
For the food, we're just so lucky that Madison has an Asian store also, and then by the guidance of our friends, families, and our mentors, that where we can buy like the food that we wanted, and so we don't really find it really so hard, but of course we just have to adjust because this is different setting than our country.
Correct. So when we are all Visayan, we speak the same language. So in the Philippines, when we speak, our accent is kind of hard, and it's when you say something, people would say, "Can you repeat that again? What did you say?" And it's very annoying. So how did you adjust to our?
So that's very true, and I have a good experience on that one too. But the good thing here in particularly in Madison, they're very understanding.
Okay.
They will just gonna understand you, and then they will just gonna repeat, and then as long as they understand, they're okay with it. They don't say anything,
Okay.
But with the help also with our kids,
Yeah.
they also teach us on how to pronounce it well. Although we understand fully, but to speak sometimes because of our accent.
Yeah, we are on the same page,
Yeah.
Bobby, because my son keeps on telling me, "Mommy, that's not how you're supposed to say that." Yeah, corrections.
Yeah.
So, in the Philippines, when we look for a job, it is mostly, I would say 50%, it is not what you know, but who you know. Is that the same when you move from Philippines to America?
No, it doesn't really holds true with our profession because you have to prove yourself.
Okay.
Get educated if you want, like to go do a further education. You can do that so that you be more fit to the job.
Oh, that's good. That's good that it's not what you know.
Yeah.
It's not, it is what you know, not who you know.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you have 3 kids and you went to the hospital to work. So who took care of the kids?
Bobby stayed as a hands-on dad for our kids for a couple couple of months, while we're adjusting, and the transition is really helpful because he is like hands-on with the kids while I'm at work, and then after a while when we are adjusted with our situation.
Okay.
We actually take turns, and he worked very part-time.
Oh,
So
that's good.
That's
good to
it
know.
work out though.
Yeah. So we are in the pandemic time. When we hear the word COVID, we think it is so negative. You, Dali, you are a frontliner, and I salute all doctors, all nurses, all the healthcare staff. I salute you guys because you are very unselfish and you did a lot of sacrifice. how does COVID affected your work routine?
There's a recent study that all the COVID-19 patients were likely to develop acute kidney injury, and because especially those critically ill patients. So we sometimes, or they require dialysis, and that greatly affect our job, because especially me, that I'm a nephrology nurse or a dialysis nurse. So we have a significant increase of patient population in the renal world. So although the hospital train us with new medication and like special dialyzer for all these patients, but we do have to extend our long shift of long hours of shift, and sometimes have to work shorthanded. So we are prone to like physical exhaustion and mental exhaustion. So, but just to make sure that irregardless of the situation that we are dealing with the pandemic and all the stress and the anxiety and the fear, we still continue to provide the best care for our patients.
I salute you, Dolly. All the frontliners. Bobby, you are an essential worker, and an essential worker, you are asked by your boss, by your supervisor, to report to work, and even for the closure of the businesses. This is to comply with the business operations.
Yes.
So you are a branch manager of a hotel. How does COVID affected you? How does COVID affect your business?
Yes, has some changes because we have to follow our corporate guidelines as well as the local Department of Department of Health guidance. So by providing our employees the personal protective equipment, so we have to wear masks every day and gloves, and we have to sanitize all high touch areas to make our guests safe. So we also provide them if they need some personal protective equipment too. So it's available in our hotel. So
thank you for doing that, because when we say COVID, we are so scared of being contaminated or being, So thank you for the two of you for doing your job. So this is a very interesting question, because when I talk to my friends, one of the effect of COVID is to have online classes. Some of my friends, they don't like it because it's very hard, and they tend to answer or do the homework of their students. You guys have 2 college students. So how do you like online classes?
We really prefer the in-person mode of instruction for them, but at this situation right now, the only safe way of getting their education is the online learning. So but we are fortunate enough that our kids are really self-reliant and independent in doing their online.
Thank you for saying that. I know you've been in America and for 21 years, and have you discussed where to retire? Do you want to retire in America, or do you want to retire in the Philippines?
Actually, we talk about it, and probably we do at this moment, like we're thinking just to do half and half. Because all the kids are here, and then I guess they told us that they like it here. So, but whenever they go, then we go also. So.
That's good. Because my husband and myself are also talking of making it 6 months and 6 months. But depending on the weather and how beautiful the flowers are. So it's very good that you share that with us, all the knowledge, all the information that you shared with us. So can you share an inspirational thought to our viewers with your experience here in America, whatever?
For me, wherever you go and wherever you are, always put your best foot forward and stay grounded. And there's always me in my everyday life. I always have this motivational words that that I always motivate my mind. That you have to do it right, and do it right now. That's my motivation every day.
No, like It can wait. It can wait. This is my last question. I am not sure if any of you could answer this. I know you've been here since 2001. Since 2001. Give me one thing that you miss most about the Philippines.
I would say my family.
Aww.
Yeah, they're the only reason why I have to go back. And, you know, there's always like, you know, you have all your friends and, you know, your family and the familiar face.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's no place like home, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. I miss my family too in the Philippines. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to discuss and for you guys to share the information to our friends, you know, like coming from the Philippines and moving to America. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so thankful for our interview this afternoon. And this is Jeanette Jordy with Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, you need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world. Thank you very much and maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po! Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Cprtv's latest news. Our headline: President Trump will likely soon sign a proclamation declaring National Character Counts Week. The National Character Counts Week has been the third week of October every year since 1992. Each year, the Senate introduces a resolution and the President makes the proclamation. Character Count is a national organization that provides non-partisan, non-sectarian, evidence-based curricula to teach kids good character, and millions of students in the United States learn 6 pillars of characters: respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. The Illinois Department of Employment Security announced that the unemployment rate fell 0.8 percentage point to 10.2%, while non-farm payrolls lost 12,000 jobs in September. Based on the preliminary data provided by the U.S. Department of Labor Statistics and released by IDES, the August monthly change in payroll was revised upward from the preliminary report from 66,000 to 85,000 jobs. The August unemployment rate was unchanged from preliminary report and held at 11%. The September payroll jobs estimate the unemployment rate reflects activity for the week, including the 12th. The Illinois Department of Aging is proud to announce the 2020 Senior Illinois Hall of Fame inductees. The department hosted virtually symposium with over 600 attendees that took the time to recognize special contribution made by older adults in the categories of community service, education, graphic arts, labor force, and performance. The recipients of the Governor's Engaging Award were also acknowledged during the ceremony. Specifically, the ceremony took place during the department one-day symposium focused on COVID-19. It impacts the older adults and aging network. The department's first ever virtual symposium included to recognize leaders and panels discussion led by members of the aging network that provided an opportunity for those who administers and provide senior services. Approximately 70 million Americans will see a 1.3% increase in their Social Security benefits and the Supplemental Security Income payment in 2021. We will mail cost of living adjustment or COLA notices throughout the month of December to retirement survivors and disability beneficiaries, SSI recipients, and representative payees. Want to know your new benefit amount before you your notice arrived? Starting in early December, you will be able to securely view and save your Social Security or COLA notice online via the message center inside My Social Security. Benefits amount will not be available before December. Make sure you are signed up for notification from My Social Security Message Center. Again, this is Joe Mauricio. Thank you for sharing your Sunday with us, and I hope to see you again next week.
In 2010, we had Ferdinand Olido and Jane Moran.
2011. You know what? 2009 is not on this list.
Well, welcome 2009.
Thank you, 2009. Come on in. It's not on the list. 2010, we had Ferdinand Alido and Jane Miran.
2011, Cleo Casambre and Billy Deck.
As what 2011 also included Zenon Morales. 2012, we recognized Mary Lou Jimenez Dengalan, May Flores, as well as Reverend Carlos Maria Lagas.
In 2013, come on down, Dr. David Calimag, Angelita Francisco, Maria Odimar Rancho, Gregory Verdalan, and Nick Vera Perez.
So both of our MCs tonight are Hall of Famers. 2014, come on down. We have Maria Fides Balita. Thank you, Maria, who's working hard up here, actually. Dr. Jesse Corres and Dennis Mondero. Oh, and we also had Mel Toledo. Mel Toledo is here as well.
2015, we have Reverend Nancy Abiera, Carmesita Floro, Jan Paul Ferrer, Dr. Rupert Mayaga and family, Chacil Patron, Maria Isabel Turgo Sakai, Stella Marie Santos, Marilyn Solomon.
2016, come on down. We have Christine Cadlon Cabiltes, as well as Nick Ramiro Paches.
2017, Dr. Marjorie Badilla, Dr. Marie Bandan Omotek, Janice or Janice Dantes, Majema Esmala Kosanam. Oh,
2017. Also in 2017, we had Nell and Lane Frias, Mayor Rita Sanders, Olivia Trinquan, and Larry Ventresca. And our final year, which was just last year, before this massive group into the Hall of Fame in 2019. 2018 included Elaine de Jesus, Geraldine Gaydon, Gloria Key, Ginaline Lopez, Jennifer Roan, Nick Vera Perez, Salina Vest, Romel Yarcia, as well as Sarah Lee. This is the class of 2018 in the Hall of Fame. Come on down. Well, they need to.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. This is Melody Dizon, your Health Matters host. And today we will be talking about senior moments. That's right. It's a common phrase that you hear it all the time and you say it all the time. I'm having my senior moment. So what does it actually mean when you say senior moment? So let's talk about that. The number of cases of dementia in the United States is rising as baby boomers age, raising questions for boomers themselves and also for their families, caregivers, and society. Dementia, which is not technically a disease but a term of impaired ability to think, remember, to make decisions, is one of the most feared impairments of old age. So in other words, it's forgetfulness, what dementia is all about. Incidence increases dramatically as people move into their 90s. About 5% of those ages 71 to 79 have dementia, and about 37% of those about 90 years old live with it. Older people may worry about their own loss of function as well as the cost and toll of caregiving for someone with dementia rises. A 2018 study estimated that the lifetime cost to care for a person with dementia or Alzheimer's, which is the most common form of dementia, is to be at $329,360. Yeah, I have that in my pocket to save for my future. Right. That figure too will no doubt rise, putting even more burdens on family, Medicare, and Medicaid. There also has been a good deal of talk and reporting about dementia in recent months because of the U.S. presidential election. Some voters have asked whether one or both candidates have dementia. They may have dementia. They easily forget things, but is this even a fair question to ask? When these types of questions are posed, adding further stigma to people with dementia, it can unfairly further isolate them and those caring for them. We need to understand dementia and the impact it has for more than 5 million people in the United States who now live with dementia and their caregivers. And again, the number is expected to triple by 2060. So first, it is important to know that dementia cannot be diagnosed from afar or by someone who is not a doctor. A person needs a detailed doctor's exam for diagnosis, and sometimes brain imaging is required. And forgetting an occasional word or even where you put your keys does not mean a person has dementia. There are just different types of memory loss and can further have different causes, such as other medical conditions, falls, or even medication, including herbal supplements and anything over the counter. Older people wonder and worry about so-called senior moments and the memory loss they perceive in themselves and others. I see patients like this every week, every day of the week in the geriatric clinic that I assist the doctors with, where they tell me their stories. Oh, I forgot a word, Melody, or I don't know where I put my keys, or, what was I saying again? They get lost in a story. I happen to have those, and I'm not near that age yet. But details vary. The underlying concern is the same. So the question is, now, is that dementia? Well, there is what we call the normal memory loss. As we age, we experience many physical and cognitive changes, and older people often have a decrease in recall memory. This is normal. Ever having trouble fetch a fact from deep back part of your mind's Rolodex? Someone needs to spot someone at the grocery store you haven't seen in years? You're not the only one. And maybe you recognize the face but don't remember their name or where you met them until later on that night. This is again normal as part of the expected changes with aging. What's more of a potential problem is forgetting the name of someone you see every day, like your family members, forgetting how to get to place you visit frequently, or having problems with your activities of daily living, like eating, dressing, and hygiene. You tend to forgo that, or you forget how to do it. When you have troubles with memory, but they don't interfere with your daily activities, this is called mild cognitive impairment. Your primary care doctor can diagnose it, but sometimes it gets worse, so your doctor should follow you closely if you have mild cognitive impairment. You want to note the timing of any impairment. Was there a gradual decline or did it happen all of a sudden? This too you should discuss with your doctor, who might recommend the MOCA test, or what they call the Montreal Cognitive Assessment Test, which screens for memory problems and helps determine if more evaluation is needed. Also, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention lists problems in these areas as possible signs of dementia: memory, attention, communication, reasoning, judgment, problem solving, visual perception beyond typical age-related changes in vision. There are more severe issues than that. So when memory loss interferes with daily activities, you want to see your doctor about what to do and how to make your home safe. So there are numerous types of severe memory loss. Dementia tends to be a slow-moving progression that occurs over months or years. So delirium is more sudden and can occur over hours or days, and when usually you have an acute illness that goes with it. Depression can also cause memory changes, particularly as we get older. So dementia and other issues. Alzheimer's dementia is the most common type of dementia, followed by vascular dementia. They have similar symptoms: confusion, getting lost, forgetting close friends or family, or an inability to do calculations like balance a checkbook. Certain medical conditions like thyroid disorders, syphilis can lead to dementia symptoms, and less common types of dementia can have different kinds of symptoms as well. Alzheimer's is a distinct set of symptoms associated with certain changes in the brain. Focusing on safety and appropriate supervision, particularly in the home, is critical for all people with dementia. Your doctor or social worker can help you find support. So it is also important to be aware of two other things that can lead to decreased mental functioning. There's delirium and depression. Delirium, as what we said earlier, is a rapid change in condition or mental functioning that can occur in people with acute medical illness like UTI, pneumonia, or COVID-19 infection. Delirium can occur in patients in the hospital or at home. Risk for delirium increases with age or previous brain injuries, and symptoms include decreased attention span and memory issues. Depression, on the other hand, can happen at any time as well, but it's more common with aging. How can you tell if you're depressed? Well, here's one simple definition. When your mood remains low and you've lost interest or joy in activities you once loved. So sometimes people have recurring episodes of depression. It can be prolonged grieving, it becomes depression. It can include anxiety, hopelessness, low energy, and problems with memory. So if you notice signs of depression in yourself or a loved one, you want to see your doctor. And if you have thoughts of harming yourself, you want to call 911 to get help instantly. And any of these conditions can be frightening. It is, and it can be. But even more frightening is unrecognized or unacknowledged dementia. You must openly and honestly discuss changes you notice in your memory or thinking with your doctor. It is the first step towards figuring out what is happening and making sure your health is at the best that it can be. And as with any other disease or disease group, dementia is not a character flaw, and the term should not be used to criticize a person. Dementia is a serious medical condition, and you want to ask those who have it and the loved ones who care for them, as any of us who would treat them becomes a very challenging situation. So folks, dementia is a serious topic, and Alzheimer's is definitely one of the reasons why patients have dementia. The most important thing, if I want you to remember, if any, with this, is that you want to think of the caregiver who's taking care of that patient, because I'm pretty sure they're bogged down with all the responsibilities that they have to do. You want to look into safety. You want to look into medication changes or medication therapy, and all of those things that you need to do and watch for a person with dementia. So I hope, folks, that I have given you tips on how to differentiate what dementia is and Alzheimer's is. And I hope you have a good day. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.
They made America home, and they deserve to be counted. They marched for us so we can be counted. They did whatever it took to raise and protect us. For generations, we've built this state and this country, either by working long hours or studying through the night, to make a home for ourselves, for our families, and for our future. As we think about the next decade and everything it will bring, we need to make sure our children have every resource available to them. The census is our chance to do that. It's our chance to shape our future. It affects funding for schools, healthcare, public transportation, and determines our representation in Washington. We can't wait another decade, and we can't be overlooked. But time is running out. Fill out the census and be counted today. It's safe. It's confidential. Go to my2020census.gov to fill out the census today.
We come to the portion of the show and that everybody's excited about watching, and they are the birthday people. Happy birthday to our friends Carmen Manyang Lanes, Gloria Keys, hi Gloria, Philip Tan, and Sally Gardner, and least but my important brother in Masonry, Mr. Reynald Espiritu. Happy birthday, bro. So mote it be. Again, this is Joe Mauricio saying thank you for your sharing your Sunday with us, and I hope to wish every Filipino Americans happy Filipino American History Month. Babu.